What's up guys, my name is Laura. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how to make money off of stock photos. So right off the bat, I'm going to keep it real because I'm from Jersey. Do I think stock photos are a great way to monetize as a photographer? Absolutely not. As creatives, we put a lot of time and effort into our work and we charge rates that reflect that. With stock photos, you'll log on to, various stock photo websites and seeing your photo downloaded for 25 cents a pop. Is that really worth it at the end of the day? That's something you have to decide for yourself. But I will tell you that for someone like me that doesn't like to trade time for money and wants to make passive income, this can be a good option for you to do in your downtime that will only reap greater and greater benefits as time goes on. Okay, so let's jump into my top 10 tips for selling stock photos. My number one tip, and if you don't take anything from today's video, listen up. You need to download the program XPix, okay? It's a completely free program that you can download and use for free. And basically what it allows you to do is add all of the metadata into your photos before uploading it to micro stock sites. So what is metadata? If you don't know, every stock photo that you upload has to have a title, a description, and keywords. This is how people find your photos when they go to stock websites. They type in like, turkey, hot air balloon, whatever. They want a travel picture, right? And that is exactly how they're going to come across your content. So that stuff has to be on point. Now, if you want to make a lot of money selling stock photography or as much as you possibly can, you're going to want to sell on multiple sites. And that's actually my second tip. So if you're selling on multiple sites, you're going to have to enter these keywords and these titles and descriptions for every single site for the same exact photo over and over again. And trust me, it's the most mind-numbing, just frustrating work to have to do. So with XPix, you go ahead, you add everything in one time. It saves within the background of the photo, and then you go ahead and you upload it to all different stock sites. It's already in there. You might have to make some minor adjustments, but it's a huge time saver, so trust me on that. Okay, so back to my second tip, sell on multiple sites. If you're doing this work in the background to upload all of your metadata into XPix, why not, get the biggest bang for your time, the biggest bang for your buck, sell on multiple different platforms. Okay, my two favorite stock photography websites to sell on are Shutterstock and Adobe Stock, just for ease of use. They make it very easy and simple to upload your photos. They work perfectly with XPix. They're just easy to use. I've heard really great things about Dreamstime, though I am not selling on there yet. And I do also currently upload to Getty Images or iStock. However, the user experience is not great on the website, and the way that they make you add keywords is really, really annoying. So I would recommend against iStock, especially if you're new to stock photography. Try out Adobe Stock, Shutterstock, and possibly Dreamstime first, and you can always go from there. Okay, so my third tip for selling stock photos is that you need to focus on the quality of your image. Stock photography websites are very, very picky, and you can't take this personally. If there's the littlest bit of like dust in your image or on your camera sensor, or if, there's a tiny bit of camera shake or blur, they're going to reject your images. And if you spent time putting the title and the keywords and the description and everything, and then they all get rejected, it's very frustrating because you already invested time in getting these photos live on a stock website. So when you go through your photos, don't just choose a million photos willy-nilly. Really look at your photos, look at them at 100% magnification. Be real with yourself and be honest. Are the photos blurry? Do they have specks on the sensor that need to get cleaned up in Photoshop? Either choose to just trash those photos and not to upload them to stock photography sites, or choose to spend the time to do it right, edit them in Photoshop or Lightroom, whatever program you use, and then go ahead and upload them to the stock photography websites. Okay, my next tip, which I briefly just touched on, is that you need to remove logos from your photos. If a photo has a logo in it, it can't be sold on stock photography websites. So you'll need to go ahead and remove those in advance. Now again, you're gonna spend time putting all this metadata into the photos. If you upload them with the logos just because you forget or you're not paying attention, they're going to get rejected, and you can't just copy and paste all of that information and put it back into the photo. If you use XPix and it's saved in there or saved in the metadata, you might be able to go pull it and like copy and paste it somehow, but you're gonna have to go through every single picture individually and take that information out. So just do it right from the first time. Just take a peek at your photo, zoom into 100% magnification, and just make sure that any logos are removed. Okay, my fifth tip is actually something that I don't follow, but do as I say, not as I do. try to upload as often as possible, at least when you're getting started. I've noticed that when I upload even just a few photos every day versus do huge batches at one time, I get more traction and sell more photos. So if you have the time, just set a daily goal. Like, I want to upload 3 photos a day. You can even put all the metadata in Xpics at one time and just upload a few every day. And I feel like you'll get a lot more traffic onto your photos, which in turn is going to lead to more sales and more money for you. Okay. My next tip is to keep your photos simple and very minimal. You have to think about the people that are buying stock photos on the websites and what they're buying them for. If you're a graphic designer or have any experience working in Canva, making Pinterest icons, or making brochures, or if you've ever done anything like that, maybe you've made your own website and you had to put text on your hero image on your homepage, right? You need white space and blank space to put that text. Very rarely are people buying images. I mean, what do you think? They're just collecting images just to buy them because they like them? No, they're using them for marketing. They're using them for their websites, brochures, business cards, whatever it is. So minimal photos tend to do a lot better. Nobody wants to buy a photo that's all cluttered and has a million things going on and is very distracting. They just want something very simple and basic to put in the background to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of emotion to whatever text they're trying to convey to their customer or their target demographic. Okay, my next tip is to look at your analytics. This is so important. I noticed when I started uploading photos to Shutterstock that actually almost 50% of my sales were coming from just a few images. Why is that? Well, when I looked, these 2 images were selling for $30 a pop, whereas a lot of my other images were only selling for 25 cents. So I had some images that were downloaded hundreds and hundreds of times that barely made me any money because they were selling for so inexpensively. Whereas I had these other images of the New York City skyline that I took from a helicopter that were selling for $30 each. Well, I happened to remember that day, and I had taken a lot of other photos other than those 2 photos. I just happened to upload those 2 because they were my favorites. Well, I went back to that folder and I went through all of those images. I excluded any that really were not appropriate for stock because they were blurry, they weren't exposed properly, they were basically not salvageable. Anything that was salvageable that maybe just had like a dust fleck because I hadn't cleaned my sensor in a while, got retouched in Photoshop, and then they all got uploaded. The best thing was I could reuse a lot of the keywords for those photos because they were taken in very similar areas. So I just adjusted minor things about them, uploaded them all to the stock website, and all of a sudden I had 100 images that were all selling well at $30 each. So definitely look at your analytics, look at what's working and what's not. In the beginning, just try and upload one variation or version of each image, especially if you're a photographer that has a huge library. It's hard to choose. So I'd recommend just, choosing a small sample population, if you will, in order to upload to the sites. Then just look at what works and just repeat that. Okay, my 8th tip is to use unique images. Choose unique images to upload to stock photo sites. How many images of, the New York City skyline do you think there are? Thousands, possibly millions. But how many were taken from helicopters? Probably not as many because it's expensive to go up in a helicopter, right? So is there something that you can add to your photo to make it unique? Like whether it's a small human element or it's a prop, or can you convey an emotion in a unique way? Maybe you can take a photo at a time that's unique. For example, if you took a photo on 5th Avenue in New York City with like a million people everywhere, cabs driving by at rush hour, that photo is really not going to be that unique. But if you took that exact same photo in the middle of a COVID lockdown when there's not a soul in sight on the street, that photo is going to be extremely unique and something that, not a lot of other photographers can offer. So definitely focus on the uniqueness of your image, especially if you're shooting a subject that's very popular. Okay, my 9th tip is to get your model releases in advance. If you're uploading photos onto stock photo sites that have people in them, you need to upload a model release with the photos or you're not able to get them approved and therefore you can't sell them. So if you're shooting something, really anything that has a person in them, I always just ask them before we start shooting. I mean, assuming that it's not a paid gig, obviously, like if they mind if I upload the photos to stock websites, because then you're kind of prefacing it and saying like, I would like to use these for this purpose and hopefully that's okay with you. If they say that it's not okay with them, maybe you use a different model or maybe you invite a new friend next time to go shoot with you. Also, make sure you get those model releases in advance, because there have been many times that I've gone to upload photos to stock photography websites and realized that I didn't have model releases for the people in them. And then I had to like abort mission halfway. I had already opened the website, I had already opened XPics and started keywording stuff, and I had to stop in the middle and then restart the process once I had that model release. And it's much easier and it's much more time saving if you can batch everything. So definitely ask for those model release forms in advance. Okay, my last tip, and probably one of the most important tips is this video, is around mindset. I put this last because I know a lot of people, they don't want to talk about mindset, they want more actionable tips, but this is really important, especially when it comes to stock photos, okay? 10 years ago when I was first starting out in photography, I remember hearing about stock photography and thinking, wow, what an amazing like way to make money. It's passive income. It just comes into your wallet constantly. Like, I want to do this. Well, I applied for whatever stock photography website it was, and I got rejected. Okay, before you even start uploading stock photos to websites, you have to apply to be a contributor. And they usually ask you to submit some of your best work to review it, just to make sure that like your understanding of what makes an image good is there. I remember getting rejected, and I was so dejected that I didn't try for like another 5 to 8 years, okay? Don't get dejected. Keep working on your work, and know that a lot of your photos are going to get rejected because they're very picky about what photos they put on. Even to this day, with over 10 years of photography experience, I expect a percentage of every batch of photos that I upload to get rejected. In fact, I just uploaded about 80 photos that I meticulously photoshopped from a shoot recently, and I think 72 of them got accepted. So there's always going to be some shrinkage, some loss, and you can't let it get to you personally. It just is what it is. The people reviewing this, they have very, very strict guidelines of what they can and can't approve. They might not approve an image just because they already have a duplicate image that was very similar. So don't let that get in your head. Keep trying, keep improving your work, be meticulous, and you are going to make a lot of money selling stock photography. I wish you guys luck. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe this video. Us creators spend a lot of time and effort creating free content for you guys to help you guys learn and help you out in life. So go ahead, subscribe, smash the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.